fine. Or if a woman who's bisexual, that's fine. Even though she's bisexual, but that's okay.
Anything goes.
So disgusting.
I just,
No morals and values. And then pretty soon what's going to happen, because like a lot of the liberals and like the pro-gay folks, they say as long as it's between two consenting adults. That's pretty wide. That can go for incest. Let's say it's an adult man and his adult daughter. Hey, they're consenting adults. Brother and sister. As long as they're over 18, they're consenting adults.
it's against the law.
They're going to start.
It's against the law.
Yeah, and homosexual relationships used to be against the law, Jackie.
It's not against the law.
It used to be.
But it's not.
Okay, and incest. The
road.
That's what people used to say about
the road that we're
homosexuality.
going. The road that we're going, Jackie. Incest and being able to marry animals. That's all going to happen.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No church boy.
I think the trend is going to.
Just like gay sex used to be against the law. In Texas, it was a constitutional amendment until about 2004.
Crime against nature.
And the Supreme Court of the United States overthrew that.
So they're going to overthrow incest.
Yeah.
That's next.
That's next. That's next. If it's
Because it used to happen in the Bible?
No, if it's between two adults, if it's between I have an adult sister, if her and I,
Didn't they do it in the
Charlie
Bible?
has, so.
Incest in the Bible?
I don't know about that,
Technically
Jackie.
speaking,
Yeah, they
technically
did.
speaking.
But legal and the Bible is two different things.
Yep.
No, but he's doing Bible.
No, I'm not. I'm just talking about, civilized
So
society.
there's a definition that can work.
Yeah, if
it's a true adult.
There's
Yeah.
also
Legal adults.
you can consider what people are going to consider an adult. And if you keep on pushing these boundaries, they can push the age.
Yeah,
lower.
there's an organization out there that's trying to decriminalize sexual relations between
Men and boys.
adults and children.
I
out
think
there.
they should.
Decriminalize?
Oh, decriminalize.
Yeah.
Oh, criminalize.
No, there's an organization out there that's lobbying to
Really?
decriminalize,
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's the way things
North
go.
American Man-Boy Love Association.
Yeah, that's exactly what
What
it
is
is.
Or
what's a
NAMBLA.
pansexual? What is
How
that?
powerful
What is
are
pansexual again?
Pansexual?
How do you spell it? P-A-N?
PAN.
Oh,
What
you
does that
were
mean?
looking at poly.
I was looking
It's
at
the same thing.
He was looking
It's
at
the same. It's the same thing.
Is
What
it?
about
Pan
pansexual?
sounds like pantheist, someone who thinks nature is God.
Let me
Some
get
like
the
Greek-
definition correct because I'm
Yeah,
very...
something nature, like they want to have sex with nature.
Oh.
That's what it sounds like. I don't know if that's. I don't know.
Oh.
Squirrels and bears.
That's them.
Chestnuts, poison ivy.
To be quite honest, I know that this is not politically correct. I never bought in that you are born gay. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, but people will tell you.
I don't
People
think
ask
so.
you, "Are you
think
born
that's a-
straight?" And then that's the counter argument.
Absolutely. We are born with our sexuality. Everything else is behavioral preference, in my opinion.
Pansexuality is when you are somebody who has sex with people who do not identify with sexual orientation. So they themselves see themselves just as
That's pan.
Yeah.
So it's again?
If you don't call yourself, if you don't identify your sexual orientation as being completely a woman,
Uh-huh.
you think of yourself as a a sexual entity without identity.
How can that be?
Then,
How can
then y'all can engage as pansexuals, and that's all y'all
I
think
would
of.
say,
Believe-
strip down what equipment you have.
As I'm saying,
I'm
just
telling you.
how creative can you be?
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
And
crazy.
belie-
We're getting to crazy realm here.
Believing that
Reject,
it's not a choice is not
That's
necessarily
what Obama
politically
wants.
incorrect.
Pan-
Your base is going to agree with that.
It rejects gender binary.
But saying that the homosexuality sexuality is a choice,
Uh-huh.
not born with it.
Yeah,
It's politically incorrect in some circles, but I mean your base is going to.
that's what I'm saying.
It's gonna agree
that's
with
why
it.
I never would say that outside because
No.
they kill me when I say
The
that
newspaper
it's
will
for
get you.
behavioral preference. They say that no, you're born with it, but I never bought into that. How can you? I mean,
Some would argue
And they
that
say
they don't want to be
and
gay.
they say it's a lot of nurture stuff. Like I read somewhere one time that said like little boys who were raised around a bunch of women, like they're raised by like mom and grandma, didn't have a strong male authority figure in their life. A good percentage of them turn out to be gay.
Well, that's because of your influence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of it's nurture.
Well, there's outside influence. It has nothing to do with your born.
Yeah.
There actually are biological
Yeah, there-
arguments for
yeah.
why people are born gay.
I can
Really?
Yeah.
If you are the fourth child of
fourth
a couple,
son.
fourth son,
Fourth son.
Uh-huh.
and anything past that, the chances that you'll be gay increase by almost 70%.
Why?
My grandpa.
They have there's an evolutionary argument that states that the older brothers will go off and hunt or fight in battle, and if something happens to them, the younger brothers will have a maternal instinct, which is why they're gay. Then so they will take over the role as parent for kids that aren't even theirs. So that's the
But again, that's
theory.
nurture.
Yeah, that is outside
No.
influence.
That
is not
that doesn't turn
biological.
the kids gay. I'm saying it's like the gay uncle theory. So the uncle is gay naturally.
The argument
And
that I read in this paper, there's two arguments in this paper. The first one was that Americans can, with almost a 90% success rate, identify gay people by their face alone, which implies that there are some biological traits that are linked to becoming
No,
homosexual.
that's because they shake. That's because.
No, that's because the muscles in the face. But again, that's a subconscious thing.
But the other thing,
And also, I think they take hormone shots.
A lot of them do.
well, in any case, the other argument that they made
What about the
in
men we're looking at?
that paper was that after your fourth son,
The Tim
there might
Tebow's.
be a biological chemistry component because all eligible females will be taken up by your first three brothers, so you're left with nothing.
Never heard that.
But none of this it's conclusive. It's theoretical, and it's really hard to make. It's really hard to make the evolutionary argument because they don't produce offspring themselves.
Well, and the back end of that was that Americans were the only group that had that high of a success rate at identifying gay people on face alone, for whatever reason.
That's because of the dressing, not because of.
It was just their face.
Really? How come I could never identify?
All the shots of the gay people were like, like that.
Okay. Anyway, so this is going
That guy.
to be. So
That guy.
what do we do? I just write a. What do we do? What do we
I would
write?
just appeal to your base. No one's. This thing's gonna pass. I'm pretty sure. There's almost nothing you can do to stop it. So you might as well take the opportunity to connect with people who will potentially vote for you in an upcoming Republican primary.
Well, but we can't be silent, right?
No, you should definitely not be silent. You should go down kicking and screaming.
Become a culture warrior on this one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can cite the CCR that in itself it says the ordinances already exist. We're just putting them together and making it more more deliberate.
Or yeah, just call it out for what it is.
So
This
say we don't
is-
need another layer. We don't need an additional. It's extra government. We don't need extra government.
Yeah.
You know.
It's essentially the same argument you had for the ethics.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
saying you're adding rules that aren't necessary.
But this is more obvious political.
But I think
hackery.
the obvious, but they get to score the most political points. You have to like stand up and be anti-gay.
That's true.
You get the most political points by standing up for traditional values on this one. This is not an economic argument. This isn't a small government argument. This is a social, cultural argument right here, and this is how you're going to get scored the biggest points by taking that stand.
I agree with that, but to play devil's advocate, you could try to swing the conservative gay vote, they're conservative in their beliefs, but
No, I don't think that this.
it would be
this is not
way
this-
fewer points though.
But if you're in a Republican primary against anyone that you could conceivably be against, they're also going to be opposed to gay marriage. So that means that anyone who is gay,
Well,
if that's their
I'm
only
opposed
issue.
to it.
Well, I mean,
I voted no when that put on the Constitution about a marriage should be between a man and a woman.
yeah.
Okay, and I'm telling you, that's okay if you want. I mean, this is my philosophy, guys. Whatever you wanted to do in your bedroom is none of my business. But do not impose your view on other people, and especially become a policy. And that's wrong, because personally, I think it's just disgusting to just even think about. all the
But
definitions.
But if we are going to write something, I suggest it to score the most points. It could be doesn't have to be anti-gay,
Yeah.
but pro traditional values.
Okay, I'm for that, but I don't want it to go against necessarily. I don't want to beat up anybody.
No,
No,
you're not going to
no,
beat it.
no.
That's what I'm saying. It's not anti-gay. It's pro-family.
And then the other thing I think you should do.
Maybe what we can do, can we maybe throw some questionable confusions? Like, okay, this transgender, because the definition is so broad, we don't want to go detail. But if I look up, maybe I say I was not educated on what transgender is about. I look up the Wikipedia or whatever, and I'm very surprised how broad the definition can be, and it can cause a lot of troubles. What is would that, in other words, start to have a lot of questions. Would we be discriminating someone if a person go to a female bathroom?
Yep.
Because the person said,
I feel like I'm a woman.
myself, I'm a woman.
That gets down to what's on the driver's license. In some states, you can get if you have.
But the state of Texas identifies you with what you were born as.
Yeah,
by chromosome, right?
No, it's by what you were born as.
Yeah.
By the
That's
equipment you have at birth, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it identifies.
How are children? And by the way, and this is politically incorrect. This is politically incorrect. I don't think homosexual people should do adoption. They
I
should
don't
be
either.
banned by adoption.
I don't
You're
either.
gonna confuse those kids.
Mhm.
They should be banned. If you wanted to choose that lifestyle, we don't want to discriminate you, but you shouldn't affect
I agree.
the young people. How terrible. Do we actually allow them to adopt? I think we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the United States. Yes.
No, I don't think so. No. In France you do, but
I thought they
not here.
No, homosexual. I
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
of
there's a bunch of
a
them.
homosexual couple that's
Adopt.
adopted a child in
Yeah.
California.
Well, I think
I
it's
think-
the
I think
state.
that's dangerous
it's by the
territory
state.
for you, though. I mean, why are they confused? Is it just because it's like they know that these aren't? my
I don't know
parents?
if we need to go into that
No,
broad.
no, I'm not. No, I'm actually not going to specify. That's what I say. It's politically incorrect
Yeah.
comments. I'm not making.
Yeah, but you're throwing it out there. I'm just responding to it.
yeah,
just
good,
responding
good,
to
but
it.
I'm not.
See, I say
but
either
I'm
don't-
just telling you my own personal feeling.
So
That I don't believe they should be allowed to do adoption.
But the trend is moving
I feel like
towards.
those kids get all confused.
They're gonna be confused. You can see two men go into a bedroom. You see a two women kissing. Is that not confusing? It's confusing. It is actually what you call suggested
Mhm.
for the kids to become. Whatever, which is against nature. I'm telling you, it is anything that is against nature is not right.
Correct.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
Does two men can produce a kid? Two women can produce kid? No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
But I say if you're going to write something, it's got to appeal to the people that are going to care about this issue most, which is going to be the social conservatives. So you need to write this from a social conservative angle because
So, or do I be quiet?
it?
No,
They're-
I cannot be
no,
quiet.
don't.
they're not going to buy for fiscal reasons or smaller government,
Okay.
added bureaucracy. It's not going to fly with the
You
people.
should make
that's gonna,
those arguments too, but
Yes.
it should be the focus.
Part of it.
Yeah, the focus should be
So
on.
just voting no is not enough.
Like that other argument will be your consistency. You know, as you know, I've always voted against. I've always wanted smaller government. Blah blah blah. And this issue strikes not only those chords, but a much deeper chord in our constituency base. And I want to reassure you that I am not wavering on this topic. I am for.
Okay, can you guys come up
I
with a
am
draft?
for
Yeah.
boom boom boom.
Can
boom,
you
boom,
guys
boom.
come up with draft? Okay, come up with draft with all the good, those arguments we talk as a speaking point in terms of we're addressing an issue that is not an issue. This is a national politics again at the council level. This is another layer of bureaucracy that we have not heard any discrimination. And then add in the family value in there. I'm gonna let you guys do that, and I'll add in the ice off the ball. I'm still gonna think. I'm not gonna
that's a
use
good term.
this. I'm gonna think about something. Maybe I'll use the industries that we have a trend that is. Maybe I'll use. We have water rates and CPS rate to worry about. But I still wanted to make the angle that and to tie in with national politics to council. but also our eyes are off the ball.
But-
Because I truly believe that.
And the police statistic that we found was
Police,
pretty damning.
and then maybe police, we get the police part. But,
Especially because we're talking about cutting police resources.
no, we do not want to attack any group.
Right.
Okay, I mean, however they chose, I mean, that's fine. I'm respectful of their choices, right? I mean, even though I don't believe that, but if they're free people, they can do whatever they want to do. But don't just impose. Don't just come back and say that they're discriminated.
So
They're
you-
not.
So you don't understand why the mayor's bringing San Francisco values to San Antonio.
No.